Young football is on the air. We're joining you here on a amazing Friday night, west side of Chicago, Rockne Stadium for the matchup between the undefeated Whitney Young Dolphins, coming in at 6-0, 4-0 in the Chicago Public League, against the Amundsen Vikings. Amundsen enters today's game at 3-3 overall, 1-3 in the Chicago Public League. I'm joined by Jack Wildermuth, straight out of O'Hare, shot up here from Texas. How was the commute?
The flight from San Antonio into O'Hare was about the same amount of time as O'Hare to Rockne.
Ah, yes.
So happy to be here, Barry.
Nothing like a little 294. You come down 294.
We sure did. My driver was trying to take some side streets, which made it much worse, I believe. But we made it here, and it's a perfect night for football.
It is a perfect night. I mean, it was a little bit hot during the day, kind of crazy, but cooling off right now. We have an awesome game queued up for you tonight. Again, if you joined us last week, I think our hearts are all still racing from that Kenwood game. Just an amazing game across the board. And if we have time, I might just go through the roster and talk about the contributions that every single guy on the roster made. You know, I talked to Coach Finger about it this week. There were just an absolute plethora of huge plays that went on that game. And anytime you win by 1 point, all of those things need to play out. I mean, of course, nothing. Well, I was going to say nothing bigger than the touchdown throw from Von Conrad to Quinn Duhan, but that's not true. There's like so many other things that were just as important in that game. So exciting to do that. We'll get to the Coach Finger's interview right away here, which I did. My preface is I did it very early in the week, so we were still sort of riding off of that high from Kenwood. I know that this team and Coach Finger, they have completely put that in the past, and now they are fully focused on the Amundsen Vikings, who come in here. Do not let this record, do not let that fool you, because this is a really, really tough squad. Head coach Nick Olson, in his 10th year at Amundsen, he's taken his team to 5 IHSA playoffs, including last year. He's compiled a 54-30 lifetime record. This was a team that came up to the Red Division a year ago and did a really nice job. Got to the state playoffs last year, played a very competitive game in state. Got to the city playoffs, played a very competitive game in city. So their losses so far this year, a one-score loss to Peyton, one-score loss to I'm doing my not to Simeon. Simeon, they lost by a little more, but they were ahead in the second half against Simeon. You know, so this is a team that you know, just like we can look at our record and know that we have 3 one-point wins. You've got Amundsen. So at Taft was the game that the first conference game that they lost. They beat Hyde Park handily. Then they lost to Taft 21-14. Then lost to Peyton 26-19. Also, again, a game that was really, really tight the entire way. And then Simeon 30-14, where they were tied 14-14 in the second half. So let's pivot over to Coach Finger's interview. We spent a little bit of time with him, talked about Kenwood, and talked about this coming game. Let's hear what the coach had to say.
All right, I'm here with Coach Dan Finger. Coach Finger coming off a huge win against Kenwood. I'm going to let you give your reflections on the game. I've got a bunch, but I think the fans would rather hear your reflections than mine.
Yeah, you know, we talked pregame. I think sort of the main theme of the pregame speech was sign up for 60 today. Whatever the score is at the end of the first, if it's 100-0 our way, 100-0 their way, make sure that we sign up for 60 minutes. And the football gods smiled upon me because I think the clock stopped with 1 second left, and I got to utter the line, we didn't sign up for 59 minutes or 59 seconds. We signed up for 60, and the kids didn't get to roll their eyes. You know, it was true, and you know, it was cool to see the trust and belief in a lot of situations we practice every week, you know, dating back to summer camp and training camp, get used and have our guys lean on each other and not go, wait, what do I have to do? Wasn't a perfect game. You know, I think we ran out of bounds when we shouldn't have. We took some personal foul penalties that we shouldn't have, but you know, I think every kid in our program, you know, whether they played 0 snaps to think Nick Dale had 10 snaps off all game. Had a play in this victory. Special teams were huge. Offense and defense made big plays every time we needed them to, and our sideline was, we didn't get a sideline warning. We didn't get we didn't make mistakes that they did on their end, and that I think puts a tough victory together. It took every single piece of that puzzle and every single second on the clock for us to go full effort and full focus, and really proud of the way our guys did that.
I love how you always talk team. I always force you to talk about individual guys. So many plays, and I'm going to go back through and list it because there wasn't a single guy that played that didn't have an impact play. A couple things that stood out for me. End of the first half, looked like their quarterback was going to waltz into the end zone. Aaron Champion and Yolich out of nowhere. And then later, Cepeda Champion with huge pressure sacks on the quarterback.
Yeah, we sort of emphasized that we were going to need the pass rush late, and that we were going to need to contain 12. I think they had a eerily similar physically quarterback last year who got out of the pocket a little bit and made some plays with his legs. And so we knew we were going to need to do that, even though he hadn't necessarily shown that much on film. And being relentless with the pass rush, I think, was huge. Max Warner had a big sack. Juan Cepeda just fighting, he asked if it counted as a sack. I said, not quite, but it's the highlight tape. It'll look just as good, So Juan made a huge play there. And then trusting those backers, man, Joe and Luke both, and then Rayton when he gets in there, and then Aaron and Barry on either edges. But when that quarterback steps up, it's really tempting as a defensive back in coverage to kind of, do I need to run up and tackle him? And we just really harp on our guys to stay in your coverage responsibilities, trust your teammates, and those guys always came up with big tackles. Luke, Joe, Aaron, Barry fought their butts off, and just that whole unit put everything together, and it allows the pass rush to continue pass rushing and trust that if they make a move and maybe get driven out of their lane, they'll clean it up. And I think you see that when you see Aaron and Juan rush later. They're totally trusting that those guys behind them are going to be there to clean up the mess or make everything right. And same with the DBs. We didn't give up any big plays peeling off coverage to run up and tackle a quarterback because they trusted our linebackers to be there. And so those individual plays come from the belief in each other, and it's been cool to see that sort of proliferate from guys who played a ton last year to guys who are playing more this year, and see it spread to young guys, and because that's the kind of stuff it takes when you lose the lead with 2 minutes and change left, and you got to go down and score, and your kickoff return unit is full of guys who maybe don't play every down, and they come up with a big play. And I know we talked about Rayton just fighting tooth and nail, and then Rayton told me after the game his cleats weren't on the ground at the end of that he was getting driven forward, and he was just holding on to the ball for dear life. And so that whole unit comes up with a big play, even though they'd struggled, on their opportunities prior to that. So it really is a team effort, but it comes down to individual guys trusting each other and playing freely. And it's a lot of fun as coaches when you see them sort of buy into that and do it.
Going to bring up one more here. Quinn Duhan. Pass, the touchdown catch, but maybe even bigger than that was what he did on defense. A couple of huge PBUs in red zone territory, and then a forced fumble, I think, down at the goal line as well.
Yeah, I talked to Mike Clark from the Sun-Times after the game, and there's times this year where Quinn, because he plays so much, has to come off the field a little bit. When it gets late, or we're in the red zone defensively, or it's a must-get points drive on offense or whatever, there's no doubt in any of our coaching staff's minds that if Quinn's not on a stretcher on the sideline, he's going in. And we're going to go down with the Quinn Duhan ship at 50%, if that's what it takes, just because he knows the playbook better than anybody. He knows situational football better than anybody, and then he's just a tenacious player. So when you see him play as fast as he does, first of all, he's a fast kid, but he plays even faster because of that knowledge and because of sort of knowing everything and then trusting guys around him. And then everybody looks to Quinn in those moments. And Luke and Nick are the same way as Gadsden's. Everybody trusts him, and those are the 3 levels of our defense. And when you've got those guys out there as coaches, we know we're going to have a great spine, right? Our middle linebacker linebacker, our nose tackle, and our free safety, like the middle of our defense is going to be great, and they're going to make sure that those arms, so to speak, those limbs on the outside of our defense are where we need to be. And but Quinn makes that throw. We just watched it. I mean, he takes a big hit from two guys, and he trusts that Max is going to be there, and he puts it just like he needs to. And we don't get a touchdown on that play, but we get one on that drive, in part because they're scrambling, having no clue what we're going to pull out of our pocket next, and they're always trying to figure out where 5 is. Except apparently on the last offensive play where we score there in the fourth quarter, and he's just a kid who has been a varsity guy for 4 years, did everything we've ever asked him to do, works his tail off, and pushes those around him, and I think it shows in some of the biggest games this year, not just this one, but against Johnson with a kick return, against Lane he scores our only offensive touchdown. I mean, he's just it's not a clutch gene, because we see it every day in practice. Like, he's like that when we're up 40-0. He's just very consistent, and he makes everybody around him better, and we're really lucky to have him.
All right. I'll have to preface this by saying it's still early in the week. We're doing this interview on Tuesday, so we're still living off the glow of this Kenwood thing. I'm sure at some point very soon you're going to shift, and I'm sure that you have shifted your focus to Amundsen. Here's a team that, record-wise, I think, don't let it deceive you. I mean, this is a team that played a very competitive first-round 6A state game last year against a very good team, played a very competitive first-round Chicago Public League game against Simeon. What's your expectations for Amundsen on Friday?
Yeah, I mean, they do not get blown out. Like, I'll tell you that. If you beat them, kind of piggybacking off of what we said about Kenwood, it's going to take full effort in all 3 phases. They're really physical. They want to beat downhill. They're going to run the ball, but they're going to give you a lot of eye candy, a lot of swing passes, a lot of RPOs. A lot of play action with pullers, and just a lot of stuff that a lot of high schools don't execute well. They do very well, which makes it difficult to defend them. Their kids are big and physical. Defensively, they run a very similar scheme to what ours is, which does not make things easier because it's sort of a rare scheme. And it's difficult. That's why we run it. It's really hard to block up. And they've got enough playmakers where you give a kid a crease, he's going to take it. I think against Simeon last week, they kicked their opening play was an onside surprise kick, a surprise onside kick. They get it. First play, 50-yard touchdown run. Just power inside, and the Simeon kids are looking around like, what just happened? And so they'll do that stuff to you. They're well coached, one of the best coached teams in the public league, and they are very, very physical. Coach Olson's built the program from nothing. We played him in 2019 when we were moving up through the white, and they were tough to play then, and they've only gotten tougher since then. So, we're a little banged up after a physical game against Kenwood, and there's no rest for the weary here. So, going to take another physical game. It's going to take all 3 units and everybody on the sideline and a bunch of backups getting in there for a play or 10 or 20, ready to go. So definitely not going to be an easy one, on a short week for us.
All right, very good. Thanks a lot, Coach. Go Dolphins.
Thanks. Go Dolphins.
All right, that was Coach Finger. Coach Finger and I were not listening to classical music in the background. We were actually doing the interview in a classroom where the team had gone through a film session. I hope to get a few of those stories later in the game. But we had it must also be a practice room next door for some Whitney Young string performers. So we had a violin in the background of Coach Finger's interview there. But he hit on a lot of big points. Talking about Amundsen tonight, maybe before we get everybody on the field, I'll give you some of the guys to be watching out for tonight. Definitely number 3, Elmer Jecka. Elmer is the starting quarterback. He's got offers from St. Norbert's and Dubuque. I got to know Elmer and his dad a little bit. He trained with the same quarterback coach, Byron Dawkins, at QB1 that Bennett Newman and Anthony Hood as a receiver trained at. So we got to know Elmer. Quite frankly, I mean, Elmer was a guy that when he started out there, I remember a few of his first throws, and they were ricocheting off the wall. about 20 feet over where the receiver was, but he's worked hard over the years. He's strong. He's very physical. So you'll see Elmer running the ball. You'll see him throwing. Coach Finger talked about it. They have a lot of really interesting things they do. They try, first of all, to smash the ball down your throat with Reggie Mitchell. So Mitchell is number 9. If you look back at some of his games, when Coach Finger was talking about that Simeon game, that first touchdown run was from number 9, Reggie Mitchell. So 56 yards right off the get-go for a touchdown against Simeon, one of the other undefeated teams here in the Red Division. In the Hyde Park game, Mitchell had 15 carries, 156 yards, and 5 touchdowns. So he's a very strong, very physical inside runner. I mean, that's the big thing, I think, tonight for the Dolphins defense is to see if you can make Reggie Mitchell go east and west. When he go north and south, it's pretty tough to stop him. But if you can get him moving to the side, then I think we're going to have an opportunity with our inside linebackers like we've seen Yolich and Joseph Gray all year being able to shoot the gap and take some guys down. So I think big line on the line. Number 74 is a guy that you want to watch for Amundsen. So that is Derek Weems. Weems was an all-city guy last year. Offense, he was I think he was all-city on the defensive side of the ball. He plays both offense and defense, both offensive line, defensive line. He throws people around out there. I think they actually line him up at guard on the offensive line. They pull, like Coach Finger was talking about that. They pull. They get a lot of motion going. So they'll pull Weems, try to get him to the next level so he's squaring off against guys who are 100 pounds lighter than him. So Weems is a guy that you'll see offensively on the line. Defensively, he also makes a bunch of splash plays. So that will be for the UN security force. The Serbian sledgehammer, Nick Dale, Oshesky, Pericini, Cepeda, and MJ Woods to be able to take care of Weems and his counterparts on that line. So like so many of these games comes down to line play. That's going to be really key. On the Amundsen side as well, they've got a deep receiving core. So you see a couple guys, number 2, Adam Vucic, and number 5, Edwin Soto. These guys sort of run from a wing, sort of a tight end kind of position, and you'll see Amundsen try to do a lot of movement to, say, the left-hand side of the field, and then one of those guys will just leak out into the flat on the right-hand side of the field. So they had a lot of success in the games that I watched, Peyton and Simeon games. I saw success for both of those games. We got the captains coming out to midfield right now. Your captains for the Dolphins, of course, seniors, number 77, Nick Dale, Quinn Duhan, who we had a lot to say about Mach 5 on the intro, and number 2, Luke Yolich. So Yolich and Duhan both with touchdowns last week in that game. On the Amundsen side, you see big Derek Weems out there, number 74. You got Jaka, the quarterback, number 3. Number 5 is Edwin Soto. So we already talked about Edwin, and I think you got Reggie Mitchell. So just like I had it queued up, Jack, it was all the guys that we talked about. There they are.
The 3 Dolphin senior captains, and you did preview all the Amundsen guys as well. Nicely done, Barry.
So we'll see. Let's see. It looks like the Dolphins may have won the toss and deferred.
Nice. I think you're
Did I get it right?
2 out of 7.
There we go. So again, big time game tonight. Coach Fingers, actually his 50th game as a Dolphin head coach was last week's game against Kenwood. So Coach Finger enters today's game 31-19. So that's a .620 winning percentage. I had to put that into the calculator on that one. I didn't have that one off the top of my head, but
someone went to Northwestern.
someone has a phone that has a calculator on it. Both of those are true. In the Venn diagram of that,
both can be true.
Both can be true. Looking at a few of the other things, Quinn with that. The play last week, so the 53-yard touchdown catch. Also the 39-yard touchdown pass to Maxwell Warner. I mean, Quinn over his, Coach Finger talked about, he's a 4-year varsity guy. You got a bunch of these guys, Cepeda, Dale on the line. They've been varsity guys for 4 years. You got Yolich, running back, linebacker. He's been a 4-year guy. Quinn Duhan, a 4-year guy. Over Quinn's career, 43 passes, 450 yards, 4 touchdowns over his 4-year career. Second team all-city defensive back last year. The other thing of note for Quinn is that his grandma, Diane Brown, last week after the game, love you, Mrs. Brown, 2 12-packs of Gumball Head for yours truly.
Is that right?
Yes.
Maybe coming from Missouri, if I know the family?
Absolutely.
Okay,
Yep.
I love
from
that.
St. Louis.
Oh, huh.
So she got to see Quinn. I mean, he's had so many just amazing games in his Dolphins career. But to have his dad, Mark, on the call last week, my God, he just hanging on for dear life.
that was really special to have him on with the key play, especially at the end of the game. That's really cool.
Yep. So just an amazing, and I was glad that Coach Finger sort of put it in perspective because these guys, it's almost like you have to make sure you don't take anything for granted. Teams are coming across. I think we're going to do a pregame.
We're going to do a pregame. This is new.
This is new. We'll have to see. I'm not quite sure. Maybe just maybe a little pregame. How do you do? Making sure that everybody is on the same page. I know that last week Coach Finger talked about the personal, the unsportsmanlike conduct calls. That refereeing crew was really running a tight ship, which is an important thing. A lot of those penalties just on things that were said on the field. And so Coach Finger had, I thought it was very cool. I had a chance to sit in on the end of one of their film sessions, and Coach Finger was talking about what happens down on the field and what happens. And I thought it was, Coach Finger has a way of talking about things that is unlike us as parents that are lecturing. And I think unlike a lot of coaches who are sort of hey, run through a brick wall for me. Coach Finger just has a very steady, a very almost intellectual approach with these guys. And he talked about, in life, he's like, in life, you're going to have people that are going to challenge your, the societal vision of what being a man is, right? He's like, they're going to get after you. They might get after you on the street. And they might get out of your car, and they're going to call you to task, and they want you to respond. That's where you have to be the bigger man. He talked about a story when he was a kid. Coach Finger, I absolutely love this. Coach Finger was kicked out of 4U soccer because he was too aggressive. So Danny Finger out there was too aggressive, and so got kicked out of
little Danny Finger. I can picture it.
Yep, exactly. He said, I was a hockey kid, I was a football kid, I was just running over guys, I didn't know what I was doing in soccer. But apparently one of the parents on the opposing team got in Coach Finger's face, Coach Finger's father's face, and was basically pointing into his chest, screaming about little Danny Finger. And Coach Finger said his dad looked at the guy. His dad is all of 5'8", looked at the guy and said, grow up and turn around. And so he's like, sometimes you just have to take that approach. It's not always about being the societal idea of the bigger man. It matters in this game. We've got Solomon Bradley teed up here, but it matters. Those 15-yard penalties in games that have been as close as what they are, let the other team take that penalty. You stand your ground and do your thing. So Solomon Bradley, who last week put one through the back of the end zone,
boom,
hammers one. That's going to be taken at the 1-yard line. Good pursuit by the Dolphins, and you're going to be tackled by Aaron Champion just outside the 20-yard line.
Good coverage. Just real quick here, Barry, on the weather report. Beautiful
Yes.
night here on the west side. 72 degrees, mostly cloudy. Today was a kind of a hot day, but it's cooled down quite a bit. The wind is 8 miles an hour, gusting to 19, and most importantly, dew point of about 50 degrees. The Dolphins are undefeated at that level.
Absolutely, so that's good. I don't think dew point will come into effect tonight. It's cooled down. I think earlier in the day, kind of hot and humid, but cooled down a bit. So I think we have Jacob, who's starting at quarterback. He's got Reggie Mitchell next to him. I thought these numbers would be easy to read. They're not. They're not. Handoff to Mitchell. There you go.
That's a big back.
Got him going east and west. That's what you got to do. So the middle of that line, Nick Dale, MJ Woods, kind of setting the edge, and Barry Gordon on the end for that tackle.
On the D-line, I was thinking maybe All-American Attack Force.
Oh, I like that. That's a lot of, I mean, you have to deliver that. Though.
Okay,
That's a lot
All-American
of
Attack
syllables
Force,
for me. I mean,
UN
not that
Security Force, AAAF. And that was for, the weather report was in honor of Paul Conrad, because I'm sure I butchered, and Tom and Jeff Skilling, both the brothers.
Absolutely, all of them. All right, so 2nd down, 10 yards to go. Jacob inside handoff to Mitchell. Mitchell gets free. Got MJ Woods and Andrew Latham on the tackle, but Mitchell gets out for the 1st down. 1st down early here in the 1st quarter. Again, Amundsen taking the first possession of the game. Started right around the 20. They're just beyond the 31-yard line right now. Elmer Jacob, the quarterback. Again, we talked about some of the formations they use. They're going to try to pound Reggie Mitchell. Coach Finger said #1 priority would be stopping the run. You see trips to the top side, 3 receivers top. Jacob rolling to the right, keeping it himself. He's got some speed. He's got a good tackle over there on the side by Luke Yolich.
Yeah, we need actually we don't. Tony McHale, the Godfather, the numbers are very similar to our first night game, but I think we can't do any worse than he and I did.
Yeah, they're okay. They're okay. I think when we had a tougher angle and in the backfield, it was a little harder. So anyway, we'll do our best here. So again, some of the key guys to watch: Jacob, the quarterback, #3. Talked about Weems on the line, #74. So Jacob in the shotgun. You got Mitchell next to him. Mitchell to his left. 2 receivers top. In motion, jet sweep to the side. Good pursuit.
Great pursuit.
Quinn Duhan, and
Mach
then
5.
finished off by Mach 5. Quinn Duhan, Luke Yolich. That was a run by Edwin Soto. So again, Soto, and you're going to see Soto running out of that sort of tight end slot position along with #2, Adam Vucic. So those 2 guys catch a lot of passes along with Wyatt Perry, #6.
A great pursuit. Make them go east-west.
That's right. Assignment, sure. D-line for the Dolphins starts out with Paracchini on the nose, Woods left end, Nick Dale right end. Jacob waiting for the snap. He's giving it to Mitchell. Nick Dale,
nice.
MJ Woods there immediately. Good job by the Serbian sledgehammer and the bull right up the middle.
There. All-American Attack Force. 4th down.
Brings up 4th down. So I'd say that Amundsen in the games I watched did not have a whole lot of punts. They went for it a lot on 4th, and they scored a lot in the games that I watched. So we'll see. Ball going to be snapped from the 38. Punter hanging out inside the 25. Lefty boots it away. Quinn Duhan is going to let that thing roll, and it's going to roll a long way. That did a really nice job of flipping the field down at about the 16-yard line. Punter was Adam Awan. So Adam Awan did a really nice job.
Really nice job.
Punt.
Line drive, left-footed punter. That threw me off a little bit, Barry.
Yeah, the sidewinder. So, Dolphin offense takes the field. They're ready to roll. Amundsen still collecting some things on the sideline. Going to have Vaughn Conrad, your starting quarterback. Vaughn comes in. See if you can do the math on this. Conrad for the year, 30 for 60. What's his completion
I'm going to go, I was in the Army. I can even get that, 50.
Nicely done.
I say 50.
Hand off to Yolich. He's got Dale out there blocking for him.
Nice,
Yolich
Luke.
gets across the 20-yard line. Good first down play. Tackle out there by Weems. So Yolich starts at running back. I think of the Dolphins, although a little dinged up, Bennett DuRoss is out tonight. He was actually missed last week's game, too. I wanted to catch up with him a little bit more pregame to see when we might see him back. But other than that, I think we have everybody playing that's been playing. I mean, Damian Mendez remains out with a knee injury that he sustained in camp. Duhan in motion. Duhan with the flip. He's got some blockers, looking for a spot.
Nice cut,
Hits
Quinn.
the Jets. He is out for a first down. Really nice job. A bunch of pulling guys. Nick Dale leading the charge, along with Cepeda, I think. So first down for Quinn on that little inside handoff. Jet sweep.
Yeah, inside information might say Bennett Duras is back next week or the one after, number 9.
All right,
Bennett.
nice. I like
nice
that.
to have him back.
All right, so Bardsma, receiver to the bottom. Breast awareness day today, breast cancer awareness. He's got the socks on. Jolich doing a nice job putting his shoulder pads. His shoulder pads, not his helmet down. Gets the ball all the way out to the 35. 35-yard line, bringing up second down and about 4. So Duras in the game, Duhan in the game. They are split to the top side. Barry Gordon and Iakunle Allen Espinosa, double tights to your bottom side.
Keeper.
Vaughn's going to take that himself.
Nice run, Vaughn.
Across for a first down. So good job. We saw some good ball handling ability last week for Vaughn. Had me fooled a few times there. He saw the gap up the middle, pulled it, and got himself a first down across the 41-yard line. Clock rolling here, 5:40 left in the first quarter. Again, no score.
Good.
Amundsen a first down, but then punted on their first possession. And now the Dolphins with their first possession of the game, knocking on the door of Amundsen territory here. Conrad keeping it himself again. He's got some blockers. Oh, he was just dragged down. Dragged down by Mike Wojtek and Grant Morgan. Otherwise, there was a lot of green in front of him.
Almost a shoestring there.
Yep.
Nice plays dialed up by Coach Eddie.
So gain of 4. Dolphins need to get to the Amundsen 48. So if you look at the line across, so Wojtek and Weems are lined up, split to the right-hand side right now. Conrad with Jolich directly behind him. Conrad rolling to his right. Oh, skipped the ball in. We'll have to see if they're calling that an say ball hit the ground. Adam Vusic was right there, but just skipped in. He wasn't able to corral it for the interception. So incomplete pass on second down for Conrad. Trying to get a quick hitter over there.
Yeah, under pressure. I think the Dolphins are pretty fortunate there, but
so Vaughn collects the call. Will DeMille checks in. Iakunle Allen Espinosa checks out. So Duras going to the high side. DeMille down here next to Duhan. Conrad gives it to Jolich. Jolich picking his way across for a first down. He's got blockers downfield. He's still moving all the way inside the 40-yard line. Nice job by Luke Jolich.
Great cut there.
Paracchini leading the way out there from his guard position. So good job by the Dolphins picking up that third down and long. Jolich checks out. Maxwell Warner checks in at the running back position.
He's living up to his nickname there, Barry, of Mr. Inside.
That was a Mr. Inside kind of run, definitely. Really hit the Jets. Had a little seam in there and took it across for a first down. Ball at the 37. Inside handoff to Maxwell Warner. Warner, nice job. Gets some positive yardage. Tackled there by Zach Wims. But Dolphins doing a good job running the ball, moving it. It gets all the way down to the 31-yard line.
Real luxury to have two great backs.
Yep, absolutely. Both with, I mean, I know they're inside outside, but both they can do it both spots. I mean, they both have that short area acceleration. There we go, Maxwell Warner. He's got a couple blockers in front of him. Gets across for a first down. So MJ Woods out there punishing some
First
people.
down, Dolphins.
Cowbells are out.
Nice.
Dolphin fans
Nice
fired up here.
Home crowd here by the Dolphins. I see the Carter family. I think they were the inventors of the cowbells.
I think they have the patent on it.
They do. Chance Will Carter comes back. If we make the playoffs, maybe we can convince him to.
Maybe we can work on it. So first down. Inside handoff to Maxwell Warner. Again, keeps those legs moving. Oshesky, MJ Woods, Nick Dale all down there. So Coach Eddie, Coach Finger, they've got the power running attack dialed up right now.
I love
They're
it.
just
North and south.
Yep, moving some of those big guys out there. Running backs with their vision, both Yolich and Warner have done a nice job running off the tail of some of those guys. Again, Serbian sledgehammer, Oshevsky, Cepeda in the middle. Woods and Paracchini, your ends. Inside handoff to Warner. That one doesn't get very far. Weems in on that, as well as a few of his other defensive line mates.
We'll get to this a
Also,
little later in
Wyatt-
the broadcast.
Wyatt Kelly also in on
It
the
does
tackle.
remind me of the Army team, 1945, undefeated, now 5-0. Navy's undefeated. Indiana's undefeated. This might be 1945.
We're rolling back
Barry.
the clock. We're rolling back the clock here. Indiana on a bye week. I talked to Bennett Newman right before the game. Conrad, 3rd and short. Conrad going to take it himself. And he ran into Mr. Weems right there. I think enough for a first down, but then body slam. I don't like that matchup too often during the game.
No, we hope to see a little less of this. 100-plus pounds?
Yeah, I think Weems is. Yeah, Weems definitely has him. I'm going to say he's got him by 150.
Well, yeah, about a double.
But you can see right now, by doing this, this is what matters. I mean, Weems right now is down on a knee. We're almost done with the first quarter here. Dolphins, there's only been one possession for Amundsen. Dolphins have been on the field for the last 8 minutes, and it's definitely having an impact on this Amundsen defensive squad. So Conrad, first down. Maxwell Warner, little flip out to Warner. He's trying to get to the edge, not able to get there. Good pursuit by number 12. That was Grant Morgan. So good pursuit by Morgan. Holds Max to no gain on that first down play. And we are going to probably roll to the end of the first quarter here. We'll see if Coach Dan Finger and Eddie Boucher, I think Coach Eddie said, hey, just chill here for a second, Vaughn, and we're going to flip ends of the field. So that was, as opposed to some quarters that we've done, that was lightning fast. It's only 7:33 here right now, and we're already moving to the second quarter. No score. Again.
Oh, there's the inventor of the cowbell, Kimberly Carter. How's it going?
Are you trying to get on air, Kim Carter?
Oh my gosh, so proud of the Dolphins this year. They're just taking CPL League by storm.
This scares me.
I
Kimberly
am
Carter.
so proud of the players. I'm proud of Jack, Barry. They're doing an amazing job. It's just, this is a legit telebroadcasting unit of amazing sports.
I'm trying to make sure your husband
casters.
and your son know that you are on air.
That was special guest Kimberly Carter, the inventor. She invented the cowbell,
Yep.
the Whitney Young Dolphin cowbell. And Will is here.
Yep.
Good memories of 3 years ago.
3 years
3
ago,
years
Will
ago.
Carter, now a senior, baseball player extraordinaire. Carter family, big Whitney Young backers. Usually backers of the live stream, but good to see them here in person. I know that, again, Will is a guy, and I'll talk about both. Found out earlier, where were we looking?
Shout out to the Golden Steer, Forest Park, Illinois. If anybody
A
wants
call out to the
Oh,
Golden
the Golden Steer,
Steer.
Forest Park, Illinois. A call out.
Okay.
That might be the official restaurant of the Dolphins.
First down for the Golden Steer. I was just going to say, Weems and Reggie Martin were our guys that know each other since the first grade, along with, on the Dolphins side, Quinn Duhan Andrew Latham and Will Carter are all guys that started going to school together in first grade. So nice to see some of those relationships out there. Jolich trying to get going, keeps his feet, and gets down close to the 10-yard line. So that was a good job. Luke got hit in the backfield, but was able to keep his feet going. Ball is going to be marked at the 12-yard line. Looks like the Dolphins need to get to about the 7-yard line. So 3rd and 5. We are well within Solomon Bradley range right now. So could be a game where you want to put points on the board. This is, as we know, I mean, we're already second quarter here. Don't think we're going to have a high-scoring game. So if you can't pick out the first down here, you might have Bradley check in. That's Duhan.
Go, Quinn.
He's got other ideas. First down for Quinn Duhan. He's like, Barry, what are you talking about kicking field goals?
Touchdown.
So, nice job by Duhan. Nice job by that left-hand side of the offensive line. You got
are they saying fourth? Okay,
and,
first and goal.
Yep, first and goal. Oshesky and MJ Woods over there getting some blocks, giving the opportunity for Quinn to make the turn upfield, get that first down at the 6-yard line.
10-minute drive?
First and goal. Yeah, at least that. Well, yeah, somewhere around there, definitely. So,
like a service academy would do.
Bardsma to the top. Duhan in the slot. Duhan in motion. Inside handoff to Jolich. Jolich with a nice turn. And there's going to be a flag, I think. I think we saw a flag come through there. Yep. A flag in the middle of the line. So I think that's going to be coming back. Jolich did a nice job, put his foot in the turf and made the turn into the end zone. But I think there was a hold on the inside of that offensive line. Going to back up the Dolphins 10 yards. Replay of first down. So now it'll be first and goal from about the 16-yard line. So first penalty we've seen. Also nice to see. Last week there was a plethora of laundry on the field. So that was
how
maybe
many yards
even more.
is this
Well,
penalty?
I think we'll have to see if the
21.
Well, I think it was a 15-yarder. So maybe there was a face mask or something else that went on inside. So from the 21, first and goal. Bardsma to the top, Duhan in the slot. Barry Gordon also on the left-hand side along with DeMille. Jolich next to him. Duhan in motion. Vaughn going to take that himself. Cuts
nice
to
Vaughn.
the outside, gets the corner to the 10.
Speed.
Almost down to the 5 where he's pushed out by Edwin Soto. So nice job there by Vaughn Conrad using the wheels. So nice job of getting the Dolphins back inside the 10-yard line at the 7. Second down and goal. So Vaughn we've seen pick up a couple first downs with his feet. That does a really nice job of putting the Dolphins back in scoring position here on a goal-to-go situation. Handoff to Jolich. Jolich keeping his feet. Touchdown! Woo! Really nice job. Jolich got hit at the 7 and just ping-ponged off a couple guys right through the middle of the line in for a touchdown.
What a drive. What a drive.
So Dolphins go on the board here. 8:44 left in the second quarter. So that was a 12-minute drive, give or take
an entire
a minute
quarter.
or two. So good job, and also had that Amundsen defense out there the entire time as well. Most of those guys play at both sides of the ball, but I think you'd much rather be playing on the offensive side of the ball than getting pounded on so offsides there on Amundsen. We'll have to see what Coach Finger thinks about here if he wants to keep his field goal unit on the field. But yeah, the original ball was down at around the 15-yard line, right? So that was about a 75-yard drive. Jolich, a touchdown, 7-yard touchdown. So score is 6-0 right now. Coach Finger decides to keep Solomon Bradley on the field. High snap, Kick is up. Kick is good. So Solomon did a nice job there. Von Conrad did a great job there. 1 with the run and then 2 with that hold to get the ball down. Solomon had to hold up a half a beat, but still was able to knock it through, putting the Dolphins up 7-0 here.
Well, 3 doctors work together. One doctor might have been off a little bit. The other 2 make up for it.
That's why you have the team there. Dr.
Yes.
Barrett to Dr. Conrad to Dr. Solomon. Solomon Bradley now 22 of 23 on extra points on the year. Not bad. So again, I mentioned it right when he was kicking off. Solomon was so fired up after the Quinn Duhan touchdown last week. He was talking about all the little things that went on. One of the huge things that went on in the Kenwood game is that the Dolphins were able to negate the return game of Kenwood. And part of that, the last kick that Solomon had, now he did have a 23-mile-an-hour gusting breeze behind him, but he put it through the back of the end zone. So
wow.
This one's going to go flying out of the back of the end zone as well. So that's just a great way, not only of making Amundsen start at the 20, but you don't put yourself at risk of injury, lots of other things. So really, really good job by Solomon Bradley, continuing to excel on the special teams. First team All-City guy last year, well on his way to having that same outcome this year.
What a major advantage.
Yep, special teams, they mean a lot. So defensive line, John Spellers checks in. Spellers had a lot of nice pressures in last week's game. So Spellers, Dale, and Pericini. So Pericini on the nose, Dale and Spellers as your ends. Jacob, the quarterback for Amundsen, with Reggie Mitchell next to him. He's got 2 receivers to the top, 1 solo on the bottom. There's the handoff to Mitchell. Mitchell, nice job by that right-hand side of the Dolphins. Duhan over there. Maxwell Warner holding the edge. Again, some of these things that come into play. Cornerback having to play the run. I think Andrew Latham up there on the help there as well.
Number 10 was in there.
So Joseph Gray, football player. Yolich, your linebackers, inside linebackers. Aaron Champion, who had a huge game last week, number 4, and BG3, number 6, your outside backers. Those guys are important today, given the kind of looks that that Amundsen can give you. So Jacob, 2nd and 8. Mitchell next to him. Jacob back to pass. He's winging it out. Broken up nicely by Quinn Duhan. That ball kind of hung up there a little bit. It was heading out to Edwin Soto.
Was it deflected? That was a weird looking ball.
May have been deflected at the line, but what you want to do, I mean, they're going to try a lot of where they have been successful, passes in the flat. They also run a ton of these wide receiver screens. They run them. I asked Coach Finger about it. They run them behind the line of scrimmage. So as long as your guy is behind the line of scrimmage, your offensive lineman can be downfield. Because I was watching these guys, and I'm like, Coach Finger, isn't that like ineligible guys downfield? They're like down there 15 yards knocking guys over. He's like, well, as long as the ball is behind the line of scrimmage. So you see that a lot on some of these edge plays that they'll look to free up some of those receivers kind of out of a formation like this. So we'll see if the Dolphins are dialed in, if that's what they're looking at. Jacob trying to keep it himself, and he's tackled and brought down. Dale in on the end of that. I think that it was the football player, Joseph Gray. Joseph Gray with the stop.
Spellers unblocked. Good pressure. Forced the quarterback to the left and pod of Dolphins, maybe.
Pod of Dolphins. So good job by the Dolphin D. Going to force another punt here. 7 minutes, 10 seconds left.
I'm going to see if I can remember that. Tony McHale just has it right in his head. I have a general idea most of the time.
Adam Awan back to punt. Duhan lined up right around the 50-yard line. Low snap, bounce back to him. Awan does a nice job of picking it up. Duhan jumps away from it. His dad wanted him to take it, though. could hear Mark Duhan next to us.
No,
Quinn, grab that football.
In early 1980s Akron, Ohio football, there were no fair catches.
Oh, yeah, not all that way. Yeah, they were just, they had the single bar face mask, just loaded, going for
you
it.
don't want to go home to your family if you fair caught the ball. Early 80s, Northeast Ohio.
Akron DNA, baby. I think they're worried about some live mics over here. I was worried all last week that we had Mark Duhan on a live mic. He did a nice job, though, man. He was kind of just he found an inner peace with the headset.
He did. He did a nice job. I raced from O'Hare to get here, Barry. He was. I did not want him to Wally Pip me on the broadcast team.
Yep, exactly. Jack Wildermuth keeping that color commentary position. So Dolphins take over 34-yard line. Conrad, Yolich, Maxwell Warner next to him. Maxwell Warner looking to the outside. Gets to the corner, to the 50, to the 40. Woo! Pushed out of bounds at the 30-yard line by Edwin Soto. So nice job, Max, using, again, that short area burst. Like, there wasn't a whole lot there. He stayed with it, and then got to the corner. Dolphins going to go tempo here. They're going right back to the line. Ball is set down at the 30-yard line. Conrad now with Yolich next to him. 3 receivers to his left. Handoff to Yolich. Picking his way. Gain of about 7 yards right up the gut. And I think you got Weems slow to get up. Weems has been on the field the entire game. 5:58 to go, and the Dolphins are
a lot of hands on hips, Barry.
Yep, so Weems is actually checking out right now. Exactly that. And just the amount of time that Amundsen defense has spent on the field. Again, 7-0 here. If you're just joining us, Yolich 7-yard touchdown run after a 75-yard Dolphins drive. There's a handoff to Yolich with a bunch of blockers in front of him. He's out across for a first down to the 15-yard line. So that UN security force, the Serbian sledgehammer Nick Dale, Oshesky, Paracini, Cepeda, and MJ Woods are doing their job right now. Ball at the 16-yard line. DeMille, Duhan, Bardsma to the top. Barry Gordon lined up to the bottom. Handoff to Yolich. Nice cut by Yolich. Picks up about 3 or 4 in the middle of that line. He did a really nice job just trying to keeping the feet going, avoiding some guys. Max Warner now checking in. Yolich taking a seat on the sidelines.
Nice inside block by MJ Woods on that play.
MJ's been doing a whale of a job all year, holding down that left tackle spot since the first day he showed up as a 13-year-old at Whitney Young. Duhan in motion, handoff and dropped immediately. So that was Warner got tackled. I think, let's see if that was Mike Wojtak. Maybe number 1. It might be number 1 or no. I think it's actually
I think it's
number
9.
7.
So,
maybe.
okay.
Smith Beeson, I don't know. It's one of those inside guys whose jersey is kind of bunched up a little bit. I think maybe Smith Beeson. So that brings up a 3rd down, 3rd and long. Dolphins can still get a first down here at the 7. Oh. All right. Conrad, handoff to Warner. Not much going. Thank you, Bennett Newman, for letting me know. It looks like our scoreboard went out. So we are going to try to get that back up here while Solomon Bradley and the
Dr. Barrett, Dr. Conrad, Dr. Bradley, the operation.
All right, so Bradley's going to line up for a field goal here. 32-yard field goal. He's right in the middle. Got the wind blowing slightly behind him. I can't remember what our miles per hour were, but
we were at 8, gusting to about 15.
All right, so Dr. Barrett getting ready to deliver it to Dr.
Snap.
Conrad. Dr. Solomon Bradley is going to be a little short on that. Just got on the bottom of the ball too much. So wasn't able to knock it home. So Amundsen holds serve on that. 2:52 left here in the first half. Again, we are just sailing along right now.
Yeah, fast moving. This half is going to take is going to be shorter than the second quarter of Corliss.
Yes.
Just close to an hour.
I'm not quite ready for the halftime show yet. I was still queuing up some notes and things, so we'll see. Let's not jinx ourselves. Not that I believe in jinxes. So Duhan, Latham, your deep safeties. Bardsma, Max Warner, your corners. Joseph Gray, Jolich, your inside linebackers, outside backers. Actually, I think Iakunle Alan Espinosa is in there on the side. I'll have to get that correct. Champion on this other side. Jacob, little pass over to the side. That's Barry Gordon, BG3, bringing him down behind the line of scrimmage.
He sniffed. That had some potential. He sniffed that out. BG3.
So good job. Yeah, that is Iakunle Alan Espinosa. Well, maybe I'm wrong on that. I'm mixing things up here. We got Spellers out there, Dale and Paracchini as your line. Actually, I've got to get this right because we've got.
I think we're 80.
85. I wonder if we'll have to figure out who that is. And it might be Alan Espinosa. So we'll send one of our spies down there to see who number 85 is for the Dolphins. It's not a number that we have. Jacob with a fake pass. And I think we're going to get a hold downfield on Amundsen. But it was a good pickup. Some of that eye candy going on. Eventually got it to Edwin Soto. Soto with a nice gain outside the 25-yard line. But there was a flag down. I think a hold downfield on one of the.
Yeah, they're starting to show some of the things you mentioned in the pregame, Barry. A lot of motion. Dolphins had good discipline there.
So Amundsen, I think he's going to take a timeout here. Timeout, first timeout by Amundsen. Again, we're just trying to keep our breath here. This game is just flying along.
And this half is brought to you by some steak place that the Carters went to on the west side.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what that was all about. There was some pre-gaming going on over there. Kimberly and Kent Carter were pre-gaming and shouting out some west side restaurant.
Barry, when you're undefeated, it's time to tailgate.
Absolutely. You can tailgate. And when you have your son, Will Carter, who's rally designated driving for them. I mean, not that they would need it. So 150 left here. Again, Dolphins came in 6-0, 4-0 in the Chicago Public League. Amundsen 3-3, 1-3 in the Public League. They've got some work to do. Again, a very good team, and as much as the Dolphins have controlled the ball for almost the entire first half, it's 7-0, right? So Amundsen is just one big play away from getting back into this game. Jacob, the quarterback, got Williams or Reggie Mitchell next to him. Jacob back to pass. A blitz is on. Passes out. Just out of the reach of Aaron Champion. So that was great pressure.
I didn't pick up the.
I think MJ Woods was in there on the pressure.
That was him. That was 52.
And we do need to figure out who 85 is. I don't know if that's. Do we see Rayton Scottmere anywhere? I just wonder if it's somebody that knows what they're doing out there, and they're kind of playing a little different look where we've got 3 down linemen. He's playing the outside linebacker position that BG3 plays a lot. So Jacob, 3rd down and long. Mitchell in motion.
Screen
Pass caught. Rally to the ball really nicely by Luke Jolich and Andrew Latham. that play had some potential.
It really did.
It's something that they use a lot. Those middle screens they use a lot. Again, a lot of eye candy. Guys running every which direction. They had Mitchell going in motion to the left-hand side, and then they come back with that inside screen to that wing back. But really nice job rallying to the ball. Pericini put the pressure on Jaka up the middle. So 1:34 left here. There was a timeout taken that might have been by the Dolphins. Looking for a signal from the referees.
I think it was. According to the always accurate CPS scoreboard, it says that we took a timeout.
We're going to follow their lead on this and say that the Dolphins took a timeout, which I can see.
That timeout brought to you by Westside Steaks.
Quinn Duhan, if he executes the plan that his father Mark Duhan in place, he will be catching this ball. High kick, though. I think that's going to be a fair catch. Or bouncing to the sideline. A little fire call, everybody gets out of the way, and the Dolphins will take over at the 41-yard line with 1 minute and 25 seconds and 2 timeouts remaining.
Beautiful night here in Chicago, Barry. Skyline.
Yeah,
it's great.
It's great. It's great. I mean, the dew point is non-existent right now.
Right at 50, right where we need it.
Sheldon Williams checks in at wide receiver. Williams, Bardsma, Duhan to the top of your screen. Barry Gordon, tight end, in tight on the left. Yolich, the running back, fires over to Duhan. Duhan putting the pedal to the metal across the 30 for a first down. So good job. Vaughn Conrad getting out there fast to number 5, Mach 5, first down. Conrad back to the line. 2-minute offense here. The 1 minute and 34-second offense. Conrad with the ball, looking right, heading left, gonna keep it himself.
Nice.
He's gonna put his speed down. Vaughn looking for the sideline, out of bounds at about the 22-yard line. So good job by Vaughn right there. Knowing he needed to conserve clock and conserve his health and well-being.
Very nicely done. He held the ball at the end, pick up an extra yard.
Alan Espinosa checking back in. So clock stops here 55 seconds left. Again, Dolphins scored on a 7-yard Luke Yolich touchdown after a 75-yard drive that took somewhere in the vicinity of 12 minutes of game clock and 13 minutes of real-time clock. Conrad, handoff to Yolich. Yolich not much doing, gets to the 20. Might be just short of the first down, so Coach Finger takes another timeout here.
Yeah, Coach Finger had to run only about 3 yards
He didn't
to get that
timeout. Take out the referee.
Ref was safe on that.
So 47 seconds left. Dolphins have 1 timeout left. I think they were trying to just pick up that first down there and give themselves a little more to work with.
Second timeout brought to you by Westside Steaks.
Oh, we're having some fun here tonight. We're trying to have fun in like a really, I feel like I'm having fun in a 2X sort of way here. This game is just flying along. Lots of runs. Dolphins have been on the field for most of the, it's only been there have only been 3 possessions. 3 possessions for Amundsen. All resulted in punts. There's a handoff, first down. So Dolphins with Yolich getting the first down at the 17-yard line. So back to the line of scrimmage. Vaughn Conrad looking over to the sidelines. Play is being signaled in by Coach Eddie and Josiah Purnell. Yolich behind him. Vaughn, tried to get a quick hitter to Bardsma, just a little bit in front of him. So incomplete pass, 25 seconds left, second down.
Yeah, I think Miles was sitting back a little bit trying to avoid the hospital pass, but that's something that these 2 juniors as the season goes along into next year, that'll be there.
So Williams checks back in. Williams, Duhan, Barry Gordon. and Bardsma, your receivers. Good protection so far for Conrad. He's got Jolich to his left, got Duhan in motion. He's looking for Duhan. He's going deep to Williams, just overthrown. So trying to look for the fade in the end zone. Throw the fade. Throw the fade. Williams, who hooked up earlier this year with Purnell in that first game of the year for a touchdown. Conrad tried to dial it up there for him. So 20 seconds left. Third down. Duhan split high side. Barry Gordon, the tight end, to that side. Conrad looking to the right. He's got
Bardsma.
Sheldon Williams, or Bardsma.
Bardsma.
Touchdown. Great
Bardsma,
job.
touchdown.
Little wide receiver screen over to Bardsma. Sorry, Brian Bardsma. I was trying to give that to Sheldon Williams. It was Bardsma all along. Great job. The two buddies, the juniors, hook up on a
15.
tutty.
I saw those guys going to homecoming, and now it's a touchdown.
They weren't going to homecoming together, were they?
No, they were going to, wow. They don't take a date to home. They go without girls by choice.
Absolutely, right. I mean, because, well, anyway, let's just concentrate on what's going on the field right now. The doctors are back out there for this point after touchdown. Dolphins up 13-0. Dr. Barrett to Dr. Conrad to Dr. Solomon Bradley is blocked. Ball was blocked. Blocked and picked up, but that's just going to be a
Someone needs to Google
dead
the IHSA rule on that one.
Yeah, you don't want to take a time off there. So Solomon Bradley does not convert that extra point. There's a big paw up in the middle of that line of Amundsen. So 13-0 here, 11 seconds left.
Just to clarify for homecoming, number 12, 13, 14, and 15 all came to our house before homecoming, and they went together. They said they could have had dates, but they didn't have dates, to clarify the previous comment.
All right, so I'm getting the reports from Bennett Newman that Logan Lopez is number 85, who we've seen in there on defense, playing in that outside linebacker position. Have not seen him play earlier this year, so I'll have to get a report on that. Special teams unit out there. Arian Cabral on the defensive unit. We saw him take back a kickoff earlier this year. There's Rayton Scottmere, number 25. He had a huge, I just think it was such a big play in last week's game against Kenwood.
Absolutely.
When he grabbed the last kickoff and just started going, like Coach Finger said, he said his feet weren't even on the ground. Solomon Bradley, 3 for 3 on, actually I'm wrong on that, 2 for 3 on touchbacks tonight. The first kick was fielded at the 1 yard line. But again, a really nice job of trying to neutralize any explosive plays by Amundsen by kicking the ball in the end zone and letting the Vikings take over at the 20-yard line. So 13-0, 11 seconds left here. Have to see what Amundsen wants to do here. They want to just get an early start on their halftime. And Jacob, the starting quarterback. Reggie Mitchell, their running back, number 9, been trying to get things established with him. Coach Finger said that was priority number 1, is to stop that run up the middle. Jacob, back to pass. Good pressure on him, flips it out. Positive gain to number 2, that's Adam Vucic. So completes a pass.
And the refs run the clock. End of the half.
End of the half. So we move to halftime with the Whitney Young Dolphins 13-0. Again, Jolich touchdown run of 7 yards, and then a nice Von Conrad to Miles Bardsma. Screen pass that Bardsma did a nice job of getting in the end zone to put the Dolphins up. So we will roll into our halftime programming right now.
What else is going on out there in the Dolphin universe, Barry?
Yeah, let me get to that. I mean, I have most of it memorized, but so soccer. We've not talked a lot about boys soccer this year, and we should have been, because guess what? School champions, soccer, city champions.
City champions.
So Whitney
Boys
Young
soccer.
beat Chicago Math and Science, Von Steuben, Juarez, and Taft in the playoffs. Senior captain John Stanton has led the attack for the entire season with the team leading goals of 15 and assists of 12. So next Wednesday, the 16th, will be a first round IHSA playoff game. So city champions, first time in 14 years. Kind of cool story as well. The 3 senior captains, we go back to our Duhan Latham Carter story about growing up together. The 3 captains of the Dolphin team all grew up together in Beverly. Sam Henley, Tommy Lyons, John Stanton grew up together in Beverly playing rec league soccer together, and now they have Whitney Young back to the city finals for the first time in 14 years.
School of Champions draws from all over the city. Love it.
A few other things going on. Volleyball conference season wrapped up with a sweep against Westinghouse. So varsity finished 7-2, third in the conference overall. Sophomore team went undefeated, 9-0, and they start their Chicago City playoffs next week. So I was burying the lead on this right now, all right? So Jack is going to hand off his headset. Come on up here, Hayden Petrulis. We have a special guest at halftime. Hey, Remy, can you fire the camera around here? We want to get our special guest on camera. Hayden Petrulis. Hayden, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing all right. We got a whole bunch of stuff that we can talk to you about, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's start talking about flag football, right?
Okay.
So flag football, first round regional champions, right?
Mm-hmm.
Regional champions. So Hayden starting quarterback for the Dolphin flag football team. Hayden, give us some highlights on the year.
Okay, so my favorite game from all year was actually that game. I got my first rushing touchdown.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah,
All right.
Yeah, it felt pretty good. But overall, like, I feel like defense definitely has been doing, like, I think that they're definitely, like, best in the city.
Okay.
Overall. I mean, it's pretty presumptuous, but they are the best defense in the entire city, and I think that I can say that after having played against everyone else and then playing against them in practice. So, you know, kudos to them.
Who are some of the leaders on defense?
Defense? Okay. London.
Yep.
London
So
Higginbottom.
Yep.
Annalisa Perez. Jemiah Hamilton. Simone.
Yeah, Simone Dyer. How about Marcel? Does Marcel play?
Marcella.
Marcel Madelana, right?
Yeah, she plays both ways. She mostly plays offense, but, like, she's been
Okay.
getting in there at corner. And, Nina and Kennedy.
Yep, Nina
And-
Lloyd. Yep.
Yep.
Kennedy Glover.
Mhm.
So, all right, okay. Yeah, so solid defense. Also some special teams. I stopped by. I saw the first round regional game, and I saw Dee Dee Dudley take back a punt return for a touchdown. But then after that, I mean, I think, Hayden, you're not giving yourself enough credit here because you were dropping dimes.
No.
I mean, you look great out there. It was so much fun to watch you guys. So Coach Val Spann takes you guys second year of flag football or third year? Third year of flag football. Went to the Final Four in cities. So now a regional championship to your credit. And next game next Tuesday, right?
Yeah, it's at Tuesday here.
All right, yep, Tuesday, Rockne.
I want to say 6:30.
All right. So let's talk beyond that, because beyond just what you do on the flag football team, you spend a lot of time with the tackle football team, right? So you've been with this program since you were an Ackie, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So an eighth
Fourth
grader,
year.
fourth year with the
Fourth
program. But give me, before we talk about the other thing going on tonight, give me your reflection on the Dolphins' season so far in tackle football.
I mean, I don't even know where to start. Just like this program, it's incredible. From the coaches to the players, it's like the environment, you can't find it anywhere else. Like, anywhere.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. And I've watched you as part of that program, and I've always thought it was really cool, again, as an outsider. But you've been one of the players. You got a bunch of snaps on JV last year, right?
I don't know about a bunch.
Well, you got a completed pass, right?
I got 2.
Okay, all right. So, but Hayden, you are part of that team, and their expectations of you weren't any different because you were a girl.
No.
So,
I don't think so.
that part's cool. You've got another big thing going on tonight, right? Because you are the president of the breast cancer awareness program. And
Yeah.
so tell us a little bit more about the fundraiser that you're doing.
Okay, so today is mostly, it's just another day for us. We've been going around all throughout October and beyond October. We're trying to do winter sports and spring sports as well because, breast cancer is not only an issue in October. But what we've been doing is we've been going to different games, like for Whitney Young sports games, and we've been fundraising for our partner, Susan G. Komen, and so all proceeds have been going straight to them. And so we've been selling our merchandise, which I believe that we have the link up on our Instagram, WY_BCAC. And also, what else are we selling?
You got some great swag. Is anything here?
Tonight?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so you have to order online for
Okay.
our merch because we have it customizable, so you can get your last name and your number and whatever else you want on it. But tonight we do have general Whitney Young T-shirts, and we have face paint, and we have. Oh yes, also we are doing a ribbon wall at our school, and so for $1 you can get a ribbon and you can write in honor of, and then
Okay.
dedicate it to whomever has or is currently battling breast cancer. And yeah.
All right, that's awesome. So WY_BCAC.
Yeah, Whitney Young Breast Cancer Awareness.
Okay,
Club.
all right. One last thing, and I'm so happy that you're doing it. So you're the president of that club. Awesome achievement, everything that you've done this year on the football field. I also, in showing up to that game, you had some pretty sweet drip going on.
Wait, which
you
game?
had the regional
Oh,
game.
you went to that game?
Yeah,
Oh,
I was
okay.
watching. You had the sleeve on. You had like the pink arm
Yeah,
sleeve
I
on.
have my undershirt, and then I had my my single sock.
Yeah, you had the single sock
Yeah.
going on. So
Mhm.
drip.
Mhm.
Hayden Petrulis had the drip going on. Hayden, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for everything you're doing for breast cancer awareness.
Mhm.
Thanks for everything that you're doing for Whitney Young flag football. Awesome to have you join us today.
All right, thank you for having me.
All right.
And it's over?
Yep. Hayden Petrulis, everybody. I don't think Hayden was thrilled when I sent her a text message today and asked her to come on, but she did a great job, and she is so much fun. Really, really great to get to know her over the last couple years. And, I think she just, in the few words she said, her respect for this program, for the school overall, but what Coach Finger does, and then what Coach Val Span has done on the flag football side. Pretty cool stuff. All right, so let's get back to some of the updates. Girls tennis, again, they were city champions. They start sectionals this coming week. Kind of the one sort of down note. I don't know if it's down note because it was still a great end of the year. The Young Dolphins, also city champions, they got knocked out of sectionals, right? So Kennedy White, super freshman, she led the way with an 85, so still an awesome score. She's a freshman. She was a city champion this year. Going to be 3 years ahead of her to do a bunch of other great work. Isabel Rosewad also carded back-to-back birdies for the Young Dolphins. Few other things I wanted to say. Ben Barrett, so our 4.5-star long snapper, saw on social media that Ben made a visit down to Butler, game day visit. So I know that some people ask me about recruiting type of things. It's a different type of animal for a lot of these Whitney Young players. I know that Nick Dale is a guy that could play a bunch of different places, but Nick Dale is really focused, at least as far as what he's told me, he wants to go to Northwestern. He wants to go early decision, join his brother at Northwestern. We'll see how that plays out and see if that means anything to what he might want to do from a football standpoint. You've got guys like Luke Yolich, who will likely play college baseball, but also could play football. I'm sure guys like Juan Cepeda as a senior would have looks a bunch of just places in the production that he's had. And Quinn Duhan, also, these guys are making a lot of college decisions of what they want to do, but they have the speed and the football skills. When you look at that junior class, and a lot of times from a recruiting standpoint, that's when you've got to get yourself on the radar. All right, so that's what MJ Woods, he did a visit down at Miami of Ohio. last week or 2 weeks ago, and then Ben Barrett. So those guys, well, Barrett's a senior, but he's a long snapper. That's a little bit of a different thing. Joseph Gray, also a guy. I talked to his family, and it's just something that they're thinking about. They have a lot of coaches that are interested in them, but it's a different level when you're making a decision both on where you want to go to college and if you want to play at that level. But kind of cool stuff going on there.
That is an interesting choice for these young men. It's a big commitment at a D3 school to play.
Yes, absolutely. But I did mention last week, Harrison Gassa is down at Illinois. He's doing a great job kind of moving up their depth chart. Jason Perez getting some time at North Park, and Anthony Hood out at College of DuPage. So those are your guys from last year that are playing. Let's switch it over a little bit here. We got 3 minutes left plus the bonus time for halftime. If we just talk about the red division, and I mentioned it real briefly. So again, Dolphins came in here undefeated. There are 5 teams still undefeated at the red level. So Dolphins, Lincoln Park right now 6-0 overall, 4-0 in the Chicago Public League. Lincoln Park has outscored their opponents 162 to 10. They've got a matchup this weekend against Westinghouse. So we'll see if Westinghouse can put some points on the board or if Lincoln Park keeps rolling. Taft undefeated. So Taft is 4-0 in Chicago Public League. Taft plays Lane. So that game originally they had scheduled on a Friday night, but I guess it got moved over to Saturday. Almost all the other games in red division are Saturday. I guess it sounded like they want to minimize the shenanigans that could go on after a Friday night game. Shenanigans, tomfoolery, those type of things. They want to, if it escalates beyond that. So Lane against Taft tomorrow. Morgan Park also undefeated, so Morgan Park 4-0 red division, 5-1 overall. Morgan Park is the only Chicago Public League team that's ranked in the Chicagoland top 25 by the Sun-Times. They've also got a state level ranking. They will play at the, I believe, 5A division, so that again, Nasir Rankin, who was once a Dolphin, always a Dolphin, leads that offensive attack along with Marcus Thaxton. So Morgan Park undefeated, and then Simeon also undefeated in Chicago Public League play. They are 4-0. Cinque Turner, again, the coach who left Kenwood and moved over to his alma mater. They've got Chris Burgess on their defensive line. Chris is, I was going to say he's committed to Notre Dame, but now I kind of feel like he might have been one of those guys that reopened and is now an Auburn guy. But anyway, a lot of talent there. So you got that group all bunched at the top of the red division at 4-0, and then you got nobody at 3-1. Westinghouse, Peyton, Bulls, Prep, and Kenwood are all at 2-2. And then after that, you've got Amundsen, Lane, Phillips, Johnson at 1-3. So there's still some movement that can go on the bottom of that. Also, Chicago Public League playoffs, I confirmed with Coach Finger. And so there's always that week between when state playoffs start. So week 10 is a state playoff game, and the Dolphins are already qualified for state, so we will be playing somewhere in week 10. And Lincoln Park is also clinched, so both those teams at the 7A level are clinched. Some of these other teams will likely clinch over the weekend, but you can play. First week 10 is state playoffs. Week 11 is when city playoffs start, and we'll have to see what they take. If they take 6 teams out of there, some of it matters of like how many first-round wins the red teams get. Right? Once you win 2 games at the state level, then you cannot come back into the city playoffs. So last year, Morgan Park won their second-round game. They stayed at the state level, and that's where both Whitney Young and Kenwood advanced to the city championship game. So anyway, there's a lot of moving parts in there. I think again those undefeated teams. I think I don't know if they're all technically clinched for the Chicago Public League playoffs, but I think you can assume that they will all be in. Whitney Young, Lincoln Park, Taft, Morgan Park, and Simeon. And then after that, it's just going to get really, really interesting. So again, this weekend, Lane at Taft, Bulls Prep at Johnson, Morgan Park at Phillips, Simeon and Kenwood. So we talked a little bit last week about that game. I mean, that's just a huge game. You got a bunch of talent on the field, but then you also have the factor of Sinkyu Turner now at Simeon traveling to Kenwood. Actually, that game is at Lane. I think they moved that game to Lane for strategic reasons. Lincoln Park at Westinghouse, Brooks against Hyde Park, and Clark versus Peyton. So a lot of those teams like Peyton at 2-2 squaring off against a Clark team, they could do a lot for their playoff chances by getting a win there and pushing themselves to 3-2.
Barry, I looked up some synonyms for tomfoolery, and some are capering, antics, pranks, and skylarking.
Skylarking. When you yeah. And in general, chicanery, right? I mean,
general chicanery.
When it escalates to chicanery, then you've got some problems.
We don't need that on a Friday night.
If you just have some tomfoolery. Now, not that either of us engaged in any of those activities.
No, none of those.
On Friday nights in Sydney, Ohio, or Random Lake, Wisconsin.
Especially when you have the Dolphin parents going to Westside Steaks.
We're going to have to hit them up for the airtime that we've given them tonight.
I think we will.
All right, so a few big games have already been played in the Chicagoland area. A couple big upsets, actually, which I kind of have memorized, but I'm going to go to my notes anyway on that. So last night we had Fremd at Palatine. So both those are Palatine schools, right? So they all grow up together, and then I don't know how they pick who goes where. But Fremd came in number 8 in the Chicagoland area. They've got guys named Johnny O'Brien. Is that just a quarterback name?
Johnny
Is that
O'Brien.
just a left-handed quarterback?
That sounds
name?
like a lefty.
Yeah, so he's committed to Northwestern. Had a huge game last week. Actually broke Cubs outfielder Mike Tauschman's program passing record in a game with 395 yards. So Tauschman, a Palatine guy, had the record until Johnny O'Brien took it from him. But O'Brien and the Fremd, whatever their nickname is, got taken down last night by Palatine. Pretty cool. I saw some of the end games. Actually, O'Brien, they lost 28-21. O'Brien had the ball at the 2-yard line trying to get in for a quarterback sneak and fumbled the ball, recovered by Palatine for that win in that game. Another big game, Hersey went to Prospect last night. Hersey is the number 20 ranked team in the area with UCLA quarterback commit Colton Gumino. Prospect took them down, though, 30-27. So big night for Prospect. Prospect has been in and out of the rankings in the top 25. So they go to 5-2 overall, 2-0 in the mid-suburban East. Few other interesting games. I'll just throw one more out, and then we're going to go to second half football. Joliet Catholic at Mount Carmel. So talk about historical programs. Joliet Catholic ranked number 12. That's where Mike Allstott went. So Mike Allstott, Purdue, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. If you remember, like him just squaring up guys all through, I guess, the late 90s, 2000s against Mount Carmel. Mount Carmel ranked second. That's the alma mater of people like Donovan McNabb and Simeon Rice. So those two squaring off actually right now as we go. So we're going to get back to action. We got Dockett and Arian Cabral back deep.
Onside
kick, and I think blown dead. All right, so here's the thing that I probably didn't mention that I should have, and that is in the Simeon game, I think I said it way on the open, which was a little while ago here, but they onside kicked their first kick of the game, ran in for a touch, recovered it, ran in for a touchdown. They onside kicked all 3 of their kicks that game. They used onside kicks. If they don't onside it, they do exactly what that is right there. They do a little pooch kick between the second and third line of defense.
I think the Coach Finger has the Dolphins ready for this. They've been talking about it all week.
So here's the kick. He does go deep with that. That's Cabral going to get it at the 15. Still trying to get it at the 15. Now he's got a little bit of a lane. Gets it across the 25-yard line. So good recovery there by Arian Cabral.
Yeah, kickoff return team hasn't been that busy this year to the great defensive efforts.
So we're going to get underway here. Second half. Again, Dylan Pericini on. UN security force up front. Bardsma receiver to the far left. BG3 tight end. Jolich next to Conrad. Get Duhan in motion. Inside handoff to Jolich. Jolich making a guy miss, but not a whole lot there. Actually, that was Maxwell Warner. Yeah, Bennett, I know. Bennett tells me I get the running backs wrong fairly often. I say, oh, no, I don't. I think I only got it wrong once.
I think on the first on the Corliss game we missed them all. So we're doing better. We're doing better, Bennett.
He'll be the judge of that. I'll hear about it. All right, so no gain on first down for Maxwell Warner. Warner next to Conrad. Conrad back to pass. Gets it to Warner. Warner keeps his feet blocking out in front of him. Great job by Bardsma holding his block across the 40-yard line. So I was going to say, you know, I didn't even write down. I think each of our running backs has caught 1 or 2 passes at most all year. And there, Warner getting a little flip pass from Conrad. Picks up a huge gain.
He was dead to rights.
Down to the 39-yard line.
Great run by Maxwell.
All right, Conrad now with Jolich next to him. Gives it to Jolich. Jolich with a big burst of speed up the middle. Taken down by Wyatt Kelly. But good first down run. So 13-0 here. Second half underway. Whitney Young taking that first kickoff here. Bardsma split to the top. 3 receivers closest to us. DeMille, Duhan, BG3. Jolich next to Conrad. Jolich with the ball. He's met. There's Derek Weems. So Weems spent some time at halftime getting rehydrated. Fired off the ball there and tackled Jolich for a 2-yard loss. Again, Weems, the all-city lineman, number 74 for the Amundsen Vikings. Alan Espinosa checking in for DeMille. Conrad. So we saw Conrad with a couple nice completions. Touchdown pass to Bardsma in the first half. He's been getting some decent protection. Also had a nice run. Had a nice scramble for a first down. Plenty of time. Rolling to his left. Just out of bounds. Is trying to get Quinn Duhan on the sideline. So now a decision for Coach Finger. 35-yard line. I think this is just 4-down territory here. Again, Dolphins with a 13-0 lead here. Clock stops with 9 minutes left here in the third quarter. Dale, Oshesky, Cepeda, your inside guys. MJ Woods locking it down on the left-hand side of the line. Dylan Pericini, right tackle. So done a nice job all day keeping Von Conrad clean, giving some holes up the middle. So the earlier 4th down play, inside run to Jolich that was picked up. Duhan in motion. Back to pass. Just overthrew Duhan. Had him out there, kind of a tough route. Running the wheel route to the right-hand side. So Conrad overthrows him, and Amundsen will take over on downs. But good job. Long pass from Conrad to Maxwell Warner. At least puts the ball on the Amundsen side of the field, where quarterback Elmer Jaka will take over for the Vikings. Looks like different running back there. That might be Patrick Burns next to him. Handoff up the middle, met and dropped. Woo! That would be the football player, Joseph Gray.
Joseph Gray, football player.
So that's number 27, who I don't have on their roster. So I don't know if Reggie Mitchell is out, number 9. We'll try to see if he's somewhere on the sidelines. Right now we've got although the guy looks a whole lot like Reggie Mitchell. So we'll have to see. We'll just call him the running back for Amundsen right now. Jacob calling the signals. Jacob back to pass. Good job. Quinn Duhan had some great coverage over there.
Great coverage by Quinn.
I think that was heading out to Smith Beeson. Quinn also did a nice job of not, the pass was long. Quinn had good coverage, kept his hands to himself like any upstanding young Whitney Young Dolphin. So third down, 3rd and 10. Vikings back to the line. Jacob with a running back to his right. 2 receivers to the top and bottom. Now he's got 3 as Jasper Carlson goes in motion. Looking over to Carlson. Good job. So great job. Aaron Champion on that side was getting blocked, fought off the block, peeled off, and was able to take down Jasper Carlson. Again, some of the things that I've seen them on film, that little play, that little wide receiver screen pass, they've run extremely effectively against other teams because you get some blockers out in front. So Champion did his job there. Held the edge, was able to shed a blocker, make a tackle. So Amundsen, they've had some nice punts so far tonight. Duhan back at the 35-yard line with a good pressure on. High but short punt. Ball's going to bounce at the 42-yard line, 43-yard line, where the Dolphins will take over.
13, Jacob Wildermuth breaking through there.
There you go. There he is, coming off the field. He's got the orange gloves on, styling.
They had an idea that they might be able to get one, so that was decently close. I'm glad he didn't run in and rough the kicker like his dad may have done.
With some tomfoolery.
Very, very exciting. There's some history of skylarking.
All right, so Dolphins, 7:22 left here in the 3rd quarter. Dolphins leading 13-0. Handoff to Jolich, trying to find something. Finds Weems in the middle, and now we've got a scrum. Scrum that is going to net the Dolphins maybe a half a yard in there. So again, Weems on the front for the Vikings, along with Solar Strom Corso, number 25. I know Mike Wojtak spends a lot of time on that line as well. I saw some nice plays from him in some of their earlier games, a couple pass breakups. Again, most of these guys, a bit like the Dolphins, where you see a lot of these players playing on both sides of the ball. I know they had a lot of injuries earlier in the season. Their early loss against Lane, I think they were missing 7 or 8 starters. There's Duhan with the ball. He's got Jolich in front of him. Does a nice job working off of Jolich. And out to the 45-yard line for a first down. That was a nice piece of running. Right in front of us. You saw the pulling blockers. You saw Jolich out in front of there. You saw Duhan just with enough patience, and then he hit the gas and was able to get across the 45, or out to the 45-yard line for a first down.
Yeah, he looked to cut it up 3 or 4 different times and finally found it. And
good vision, good vision.
Great vision.
Mach 5, he had that dialed back to about Mach 2 at that time. So Duhan, Bardsma, your receivers on the bottom. BG3 on the top. Handoff to Jolich. Jolich running behind his blockers, keeping his feet all the way out to the 35-yard line. That's going to be close to another first down. Tackled there by Adam Awan.
Nice block on the outside by Quinn Duhan.
So I think they're going to mark this as a 2nd down and short. 2nd and short. So, yeah, good job. Jolich, you can just see, one, he's getting some blockers out in front of him. Those guys are getting to the 2nd level, and he's just running patiently behind them. both running backs and Conrad have done a nice job on the ground. Conrad, they're going to try to dial up a deep pass here. He's got Duhan. Duhan makes the catch. Duhan.
What a grab.
Awesome throw and catch. Conrad put it out there. There was good coverage. Only spot it could be. Quinn was able to reach out and made an incredible catch down to the 3-yard line. You're not going to see a better pitch and catch than that tonight, folks. Great job. Conrad now under center. We'll see if we just get a push-tush trying to get into the end zone. MJ Woods gets in behind him. Vaughn still working at it. Vaughn at the end was saying, hey, I still wasn't down, sort of dove across.
A late whistle, maybe.
So pickup of a couple yards on the inside on that first down carry. That was an amazing pitch and catch. Duhan gonna come over here. He's got there's steam coming off the dude. He's getting a huge round of applause from the Dolphin faithful here. Quinn gives a little thumbs up. Dolphin fans know somebody's on a heater right now. It's number 5. Conrad under center. Motion man. Conrad again getting the push. MJ Woods coming on behind, and they're going to mark him down short. Trying to work in behind the Serbian sledgehammer, Nick Dale there. Not quite enough. So that ball is going to be inside the 1-yard line. Well, mark it right at the 1. 3:20 left here in the third quarter. Alan Espinosa checking out. Will DeMille checks in. Conrad gets the play from Eddie Boucher. Fool me once, fool me twice. We're going to go back under center again here, or I'm thinking Coach Boucher and Coach Finger, they're going to be hard-pressed to run it up the middle again. They're itching for some other kind of fun play. Handoff to Jolich, but I think might get there's a penalty flag down. Might be a
defense.
Might be offsides against Amundsen. That'll be half the distance to the goal, so they just slide that ball up about the length of a ball, if that. So clock is running, 2:39 left here. Conrad gets the play. They were looking to give that to Jolich. Bardsma in the game at receiver. Duhan, Brandon Dockett. Actually, Duhan is not in, so Dockett, DeMille, BG3. There's Jolich. Jolich gets swarmed under. So nice job there. That was number 25, I believe, Solar Strom Corso. 2 nice plays on this drive for him. Came across from his defensive line position.
I think the way the defense has been playing, Riverboat Dan is going to go for this one.
Yep, so loss of 1 on the play. So you've got 4th down, 2 yards to go. Finger, Boucher dialing up an offensive play here. Conrad with Jolich to his left. Dockett in motion. Vaughn's going to try to take it himself, fighting for it, but I think he's going to be stopped. Stopped inside the 2-yard line. And Amundsen will take over. So good stand by the Vikings there. Dolphins had the momentum after that huge pass from Vaughn Conrad to Duhan that was at the 3-yard line, but turned away after QB sneaks did not work in the middle of the line. I know Coach Finger feels pretty good about his defense, which is why he's confident in putting those guys out there. So Jaka and the Amundsen Vikings back on the field here. 1:27 left in the third quarter. Jacob backed up. We're not sure if it's Reggie Mitchell who's in or if he's checked out of the lineup. Jacob waiting for the snap, running back to his left. 3 receivers left. Jacob back to pass. He's got some time. He's got a receiver. He overthrows number 6, Wyatt Perry out there. Nice coverage by Maxwell Warner.
Yeah, he was right there step for step.
So D-line right now, Oshevsky, Pericini, Spellers. They're going to be given some heat. Logan Lopez,
85.
outside linebacker. Aaron Champion, outside linebacker. Yolich and Gray in the middle. Jacob waiting for it, looking. He's got pressure. He wings it over. Good job.
Fumble.
Tackle. Fumble on the ground. I think they're going to mark him down. I think they're going to mark him down at the half an inch line. Was that the football player? I actually missed. If it was Warner, might have been Warner on the coverage. It's a long way away from us over here. Nick Dale checks in for Oshevsky. So 3rd down, loss of a couple yards on that play. So Amundsen trying to get their short passing game going. But the Dolphin defensive line bringing some heat that time. Jacob back on 3rd and long. Dolphins pin back. Good push up the middle, sacked. Brought down. I think we're going to have a penalty here. There was a helmet that rolled off, so flag came out right after that. Looked like the Dolphins
Personal
had
foul,
a
face mask.
sack, but a face mask on that from the middle of that line. I mean, everybody, I could call out every single number because I think everybody on that entire field was in. So is Spellers, Nick Dale, and Pericini on the line.
It was an entire pod of Dolphins. It was as if the Amundsen quarterback was a tuna.
15 seconds left here. Clock is winding now, so we'll see if Jacob can get a play off here before the end of the first quarter. They're having some conversations there. I don't think they're going to get this play off. So the clock runs out in the 3rd quarter. So again, ball control. Sorry, I've done a lousy job on updating our timeouts here. Good round of applause here from the Dolphin faithful, knowing that their team put on a show here. The defense is just doing an incredible job. I'm trying to think, and I was trying to write some of these things down, but I did a lousy job of it. They had a 1st down on their first possession.
Correct. Yeah.
I'm not sure they have a 1st down since then. If they do, it's only 1. So defense, again, doing the job, pitching the shutout here. Coach OD's defense pitching the shutout. I think they've got, we've got 3 of them already this year. Had 4 last year. So yeah, 44-0 win over Corliss, the 38-0 win over Perspectives, then the 47-0 win over Clark. So defense has not given up much this year. And again, there were only 2 possessions in that, 3 possessions in that 3rd quarter. So inside handoff, a little bit of a gain. There's your pod.
Pod
Tackle.
of Dolphins.
You're going to bring up, Coach Nick Olson is, or someone on the Amundsen sideline was very animated. So 2nd down, so that was after the face mask call. Again, the potential safety negated by a face mask penalty in the end zone gives Amundsen some life. So rather than being in the shadow of their goalpost, they're out past the 20. Good 1st down run for Amundsen. Got 3 receivers to the right, to the left for Jacob. Jacob going to keep it himself. picks up the, well, I thought he had the first down, but not going to get there. Spun down. Good job on that side of the field. I think Duhan in there, but I think it was the linebacker and lineman on that side. Maybe Paracchini. We'll have to see where everybody lines up again. It could have been Paracchini or Nick Dale on that side doing a nice job. So right now, again, the depth, and it's not like the Dolphins have an incredible amount of depth, but the ability for them to rotate those big guys, Paracchini, MJ Woods, Nick Dale, with Cepeda and Oshesky and Spellers on that D-line makes a huge difference over the course of the game.
Yeah, depth is really paying off.
So Jaka now 3rd down, handoff, good pursuit, cuts it back, and then hammered down. Hammered down by Logan Lopez. If that's who we have, I mean, we're just Logan Lopez, who I don't think has played at this year, and if that's who's rolling out there, that was a really nice job on shooting through for that tackle. So he's playing that outside linebacker position. Going to bring up, was enough for a first down. So I think there was some forward progress that was awarded there. So first down at the 27-yard line. Jaka, first down play. Inside handoff. Shooting to the outside. That's Jolich tracking down the Amundsen running back, number 27, who we do not have on our list. I was going to try to see if I could see Reggie Mitchell on the sideline. Sometimes these guys just end up with a jersey that gets torn and they give an extra one there. So Mitchell is number 9. Might be tough for me to pick up number 9 on the sideline. It's a bunch of Vikings over there. I feel like the people in Greenland just looking up, seeing a bunch of Vikings coming running their way. There's Jacob looking for that middle screen. They're going to a whole bunch of holds in the middle of that line. So trying to get it to the running back. Bunch of laundry came flying out. So good job. Not only, I don't think it was going anywhere. Going anywhere anyway. Try to say that.
Yeah, I don't think so. Our D-line, much like I did when I was in high school. Look, the quarterback that led me through.
So I'm just going to say that that's Mitchell out there. I don't see him on the sidelines, and he looks a lot like Mitchell. So we're just going to say it's Mitchell. So that's the running back, at least for now. Jaka, the quarterback.
Coach Finger's going to take him back. Spot foul, I believe.
So that backs, that was deep in the Viking backfield. So that takes the ball inside the 15 to the 14-yard line. Jaka with Mitchell, 2 receivers top, 2 to the bottom. Dolphins in a press coverage here. Duhan comes over the line, sacked and brought down, hammered down. Champion, Aaron Champion, having himself a stretch, a whole year. Champion laid the wood to Jaka.
Yeah, that was a great hit.
So Dolphins definitely, they are Solomon Bradley checking in now. So they're going to switch up the defense, put the 3 safeties back. That, they were just pressing on that coverage. So usually you see Duhan in a safety position. He came up, they were playing man-to-man across the line on Jaka. Dolphins, again, pinned back, Spellers, little inside pass complete, but that's going to be Luke Jolich making a tackle in the middle. This Dolphin defense is cranked up right now. Dolphin defense doing the job. So again, there was a penalty in the end zone. They would have had a safety. That penalty to move the ball out. They had a nice run on first down, but then their penalty sort of took them back. But now they're all the way back inside the 10-yard line.
4th and 32. Do you have a play for that, Barry?
I have it's called a punt. Adam Awan is on. Quinn Duhan is inside the 40-yard line waiting for this Dolphins smelling a punt block here. Punt is away. Duhan gonna let that thing bounce and go out of bounds at around the 30-yard line.
So that was met by approval of the Dolphin dads.
Yes, exactly. They're it's a tough bunch, right? It's tough to satisfy the Duhan Latham DeMille triumvirate. So Dolphins will take over 7:07 here in the fourth quarter. I think I might have forgotten to change us over. Again, this game flying along. Has been that way the entire time. So Dolphins take over, 31-yard line. 2 receivers top. BG3 to the bottom. Conrad was going to keep that, but and he gives it to Maxwell Warner.
Strong.
Warner out for a gain of about 8. Pirouetted down there.
Dolphin faithful out in force tonight.
Conrad hung on to that until the last second. He was just doing that zone read on that. Max did a good job getting behind his blockers again. All night, Yolich, Warner, really good jobs mixing in some passes tonight. The screen pass to Maxwell Warner, then the dime to Duhan, and the touchdown pass to Bardsma. There's Maxwell Warner. Duhan. Woo! Mark Duhan was calling that a touchdown from the get-go. Didn't quite get there, but got inside the 5-yard line. A little pitch over to Warner. Again, UN security force doing its job, getting to the second level.
A lot of space in there. Good vision to get the last 5 yards.
Dolphin fans really showing their appreciation tonight. Maxwell Warner checking out. Big round of applause for him for what he's done all night. Had a good round of applause for Duhan before when he came off. So the Dolphins were turned away the last time they were in the red zone. A little further out now. Conrad, DeMille in motion. Inside handoff to Yolich. Yolich can just cartwheel himself in the end zone if he wants to. That side of the line, the right-hand side.
Impressive.
Great seal blocks in. And Yolich across for a 3-yard touchdown run. Yolich, his second touchdown of the night, putting the Dolphins ahead 19-0 here.
A touchdown brought to you by Westside Steaks.
Westside Steaks and Kimberly Carter. So the doctors are checking in for their responsibility here. 5:37 left. 19-0. Let's see if Dr. Barrett to Dr. Conrad to Dr. Solomon Bradley. And Salo was a little ticked off after getting one block. He stuck that one on Roosevelt. And the kick is good. So 20-0 here. Again, 5:37 left. Amundsen came in 3-3, having played some really, really tough games. Ahead against, or tied with Simeon in the second half, ahead against Peyton, but dropped those as well as their first game in the Chicago Public League season, which was, I said it earlier, but I don't remember. I think it was Lane, right? Oh, Taft, yeah, right, Taft. So 7-point loss to Taft, 7-point loss to Peyton, and then a 30-14 loss against Simeon. Coach Nick Olson's Amundsen Vikings trying to get something going here.
Kickoff team for the Dolphins: Brian Pantoja, Jacob Wildermuth, Kendall Lynham.
So let me tell you, one of my favorite plays from last week as this ball bounces and checks up at the 5, which is going to give some great coverage. Spellers and others down there. Tackled at the 10-yard line. I think Jacob Wildermuth might have gotten a push in the back there, too. I think this is going to back up even further.
Maybe a little extra. That's
some tomfoolery, some chicanery.
Skylarking.
Some skylarking was going on there. We'll wait for the. Oh, actually, I think it's going to go against the Dolphins. Oh no, it's going against Amundsen. I saw him looking over to the Amundsen coach, but so that'll back it up 5 yards, half the distance to the goal. Amundsen probably getting a little frustrated here. Their deep back thought that was going to roll in the end zone, but Salo checked it up at the 5. So anyway, what I was going to say, Kendall Lynham last week, one of my favorite plays of the entire game, because Kenwood had received a punt, had reversed field, and looked like they were going to take it in for a touchdown. And Kendall Lynham, with every fiber of his body, hung on for the tackle. And that's the kind of game that you saw last week. Inside pass, Duhan trying to break that up, but it's completed. Jacob completes that to number 6. I think that's Wyatt Perry. Perry's been quiet tonight. He is the main target for Jake, although Jake is able to, he spins it to a number of guys. Vucic, as well as Wyatt Perry, Jasper Carlson, Smith Beeson, all have seen a lot of balls their way this year. We're going to call it Mitchell. Nice tackle on the edge. Is that Scottmere in? I think that's Rayton Scottmere
I think it is.
in.
25.
Yep, so Rayton checking in the lineup for Joseph Gray, making a nice tackle. It's kind of like, our job gets easy because when you know which guys are out there, with Joe Gray, Luke Yolich, and Scottmere, you can pretty much guess that one of those guys is in on the tackle.
Nothing. Stone.
I think Adrian Del Villar is in there along with Cepeda. So I think Cepeda has not had a lot of defensive snaps tonight, but I think he was in on that tackle.
Yeah, nice play by 54.
Yep, that's Adrian Del Villar, right? Am I
Yes,
right about
correct.
that? I'm not.
Right on.
I'm just.
That's him, Adrian.
I do some guessing on some of these numbers. So Cepeda, Del Villar, Pericini as your D-line, and the Dolphins are just all down in the, well, it's a punt. That's why they're all down in the box. What the heck? I got it's bad when you bring out the
left-footed punter. Yeah.
When you bring out the binoculars, you kind of lose focus on what's going on. So, the Dolphins have only returned one punt all year so far, much to the chagrin of the Duhan and Akron faithful on that. But Dolphins going to take over, ball well inside Amundsen territory. Dolphin defense, 3:40 left in this game. Coach OD, Coach Finger looking to dial up another shutout here. Champion checking in. I think Champion checking in at running back. Brandon Dockett and Josiah Purnell. So Josiah Purnell checks in at quarterback. Nice game today by Von Conrad.
Great
Conrad
game,
with
12.
a touchdown pass to Bardsma and also a nice throw to Duhan. So Purnell, handoff to Champion. Champion looking for some room, not a whole lot there.
Well, nice to see Aaron Champion getting some reps at RB.
Yep, exactly. So Weems on the tackle. Champion had a big game against Johnson earlier this year. So Champion, 113 yards on the season with that, I think it was a 70-yard touchdown run against Johnson. Champion also added, with that sack earlier, added to his team lead in sacks. So Aaron kind of getting it done all over the place. A couple of huge plays, huge sack last week in that Kenwood game. A couple really nice pressures, also nice tackle downfield. So Champion now in the backfield behind Purnell. Purnell with receivers 3 to his top side, 1 to the right. Hand off to Champion. Champion trying to bounce it outside, trying to get to the edge. Tackled out there. Good job by the right-hand side of that Amundsen D-line. I think that was Mike Wojak. So clock moving here, 2:34 left in the fourth quarter. Dolphins with a 20-0 lead. They're taking their time.
Impressive game by the Dolphins. All 3 phases. We're moving to 7-0.
Moving to 7-0. Game against Westinghouse at Westinghouse. Tried to get rid of the demons in the fourth quarter that lasted literally for a day and a half until Westinghouse was able to win. That was 2 years ago. Purnell, the quarterback, Champion to his right. 2 receivers top and bottom. Purnell taking this all the way down. Hand off to Champion. Champion trying to get outside, but wrestled down. That's Wojtak, the D lineman for the Vikings. D lineman and fullback. Wojtak actually had a pretty nice game earlier in the season. I think he was filling in for. I think Reggie. No, I'm just losing myself here. Reggie Mitchell. He filled in for, I think, the second game of the year, their Hyde Park game.
Dolphin field goal team on the field, Barry.
Dolphin field goal unit out. So the Doctors going to come out and line themselves up a 44-yard field goal here. Ben Barrett going to put it down. So trying to make amends for the missed field goal earlier in the game and the blocked extra point. So Solomon Bradley, 2 for 3 on field goals, 2 for 4 on field goals this year. Dr. Barrett to Dr. Conrad to Dr. Bradley, and
Whoa.
he hammers it. I think it's going to be good.
Wow. You
So
get that at
Bradley
44?
just nailed a 44-yard field goal. Talk about all 3 phases of the game right now. Defense pitching a shutout. Offense just dominating all over the field in time of possession. And then Solomon Bradley banging one in from 44 yards. Yeah, it's tough from the angle here. I thought it might. It definitely had the distance. I was worried about it being wide left.
I thought it was wide left at first, too, but just cleared it right onto the soccer goal.
Yeah, it went into the soccer goal. Good job, Solomon Bradley. So Bradley, again, last week, talking about all these things. I'm still on last week, even though we're up 23-0. His punting last week was huge. 57-yard punt last week in a game that the Dolphin offense really didn't get a whole lot going, right? I mean, other than the pass at the end to win it to Duhan, the Duhan pass to Maxwell Warner, not a lot of positive yardage. That time just popped up and fair caught, and the ball is on the ground. I think Amundsen almost got back on top of it. Brian Pantoja was down there wrestling for it, but I think that Amundsen was able to come away with the ball with 41 seconds left. So anyway, in that game, Bradley was just a huge weapon from a field position battle, right? I mean, you had to win that field position battle. Today we haven't seen him have to punt all day. Am I correct in that? Maybe correct in that. I think I am.
I think you're correct. I think you are correct.
I think Amundsen just going to take a knee and get back on the bus and head back up to the north side. So there you go.
Great win.
Whitney Young Dolphins moving to 7-0 on the season. And Coach Olson is coming over here. I think he wants to talk to Coach Finger. We're going to talk to Coach Finger, going to shake hands with Coach Finger. I think maybe that pregame handshake was designed. There's not going to be a post-game handshake. I see Coach Finger and Coach Olson. I know that Coach Finger has a lot of respect for Coach Olson. Amundsen put together a heck of a program. They've been fighting through some injuries this year, so they dropped to 3-4, 1-4 in the Chicago Public League. The Whitney Young Dolphins and the Dolphin faithful, represented with many, many cowbells here, represented by Joseph Gray, leading him down to the end zone for Coach Finger to deliver his words of wisdom at the end of this game. It flew along here, so you could probably get out to the West Side Steakhouse.
West Side Steak's still open.
9:03, so we played that game in under 2 hours. Again, not a whole lot of possessions, right? Dolphins were able to dominate on the ground behind the UN security force, right? So let's talk about Dale, Cepeda, Oshesky, Paracchini, MJ Woods, all doing their job. Also, those wide receivers did some nice job blocking, and the running backs really ran with a lot of vision tonight. Both Maxwell Warner and Luke Yolich really hit their spots, right? They were patient. They let those blocks develop. They let guys to get to the second level and then took off. Von Conrad, I think his best game, and I didn't see the Corliss game, but a little bit of different competition, right? His best game by far of the year after the competition has ramped up, right? So he had a nice run in there, but the touchdown pass, Bardsma did his part on that, right? So Bardsma, great job of also same sort of setup, really being patient, reading some blocks and getting in the end zone. And then the throw from Conrad to Duhan was the nicest pitch and catch that we've seen all year. So great job by Vaughn, the junior quarterback. Duhan just doing Duhan things. Defense doing its job all night, right? So a lot of the same guys that we mentioned on the offensive side. That defensive line just controlled things, right? And they're big. Amundsen's big. They've got Weems and a bunch of other guys there. Defensive line, the Woods, Dale, Cepeda, Paracchini, I think, did a really nice job in the middle of that line. Some of the pressure that they got, Speller's giving them pressure as well.
All-American attack force.
Yeah, the All-American attack force. You keep reminding me of that one. I'll get that one, right? And then that linebacking core. So Joe Gray, a little banged up coming into this game, but played his normal football player self. Yolich, great job. Barry Gordon had a great tackle for loss here early in the game. We had Logan Lopez, who we hadn't seen all year, make some plays out there. And Aaron Champion, right? So Aaron Champion comes up with the big-time sack. What a game. All facets of it, as you mentioned, Jack. We're fired up. So we get an early start to the weekend. My goodness. So, again, which you will want to join us, of course, right? You'll want to
join us.
Next
Saturday.
Is it Saturday?
Saturday.
Is it a Saturday game?
October 19th.
Saturday, October 19th at Westinghouse. So Westinghouse, I can't remember who I said they play tonight. They play Lincoln Park. Tonight. So Westinghouse, 2-2 right now in the Chicago Public League. So that game, 3 o'clock kickoff next Saturday. And then close out the year, at least the regular season, at Taft. So Coach Finger, we're gonna stay on air here. Coach Finger gonna get his selfie in with the team that he always posts on social media.
He does such a good job with that. It must be a millennial thing. I can't do those. He does a nice job.
There he is. Good job. Again, we were happy to have Hayden Petroulis with us tonight. Hayden and the flag football Lady Dolphins will be in their sectional matchup on Tuesday. Hayden out on the field, also representing the tackle football Dolphins. Again, Dolphins moved to 7-0. 5-0 in the Chicago Public League atop those standings. And we'll see the results of all those other games on Saturday and see what we have in store for us. So, Jack, thanks. I know you came in hot from San Antonio.
What a game. Well, great broadcast, Barry, and great win.
Remy, thanks a lot for your duties on camera. Kept us rolling. I think we stayed on air all day today. Thanks to all of our Dolphin fans. Thank you to Athletic Director Chris Cassidy, Principal Ricky Harrison, of course, Coach Dan Finger, and your Whitney Young Dolphins. Have a great night, everybody.
Great job, guys. Good job.